What's up, GameLeapers? This is the Jizz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about one tip for each rank to help you climb. So if you're an Iron, Bronze, Silver, Gold, Plat, Diamond, even Challenger, I'm going to give you one tip for each of these ranks that is for sure going to help you climb. Now, after coaching hundreds of students and over like 3-4 years of experience, so many players in these ranks have the same problems. And most of the time, if not all the time, these tips that I'm about to tell you, I will tell my students. And just before we get into the video, guys, it is my duty to tell you about the GameLeap website, GameLeap.com, because our Challenger tier content creators are uploading up to 20 videos a week for our subscribers. And guess what? If you're not signed up for that exclusive access, you are missing out big time on the tips we're giving you on the champion courses, the champion guides. Everything you need to climb for season 11 is on our website, so make sure you check it out. Links in the description and comment section. So let's get into the video, guys, and talk about these tips. Now, the first rank we're going to cover, of course, is Iron. And the tip here for you guys who are playing in Iron is to turn your monitor on. This is going to help you so much because you're going to see what's happening on your screen, and you can finally play the game knowing exactly what your champion is doing. Now let's move on to Bronze, and this tip, to be honest, I could apply to every single rank. So listen up. The champions you pick, all right, it's about quality, not quantity. I don't care if you play 50 to 100 champions. Well done. What do you want, a medal? This doesn't mean anything. It's about the quality of champions you pick. Now, I'm not talking about you have to pick like meta champions. I'm talking about picking 2 to 3 champions who you can actually play. Like if you just go in your OPGG history for me, I guarantee that over like 80-90% of you are going to have played at least 5 champions in the last 10 games. Now, why is that? Of course, it might be fun, but if you really want to climb, guys, of course, if you want to have fun, just have fun. But if you really want to climb and rank, picking 2 to 3 champions is going to make your life so much easier because it takes a lot of time to master champions, especially those with high skill ceilings, right? This is why certain champions like Riven, for example, there are lots of one tricks because she's so difficult to play and it takes a lot of time to master her. So if you can concentrate all of your energy and focus, guys, into 2 to 3 champions and make yourself really good at them instead of just being average at like 10 champions, you are going to see as a result much better results in your OPGG and your match history just by doing this. Now let's move on to the Silver tip. Now in Silver, most players know how to play their champions, right? But they don't really know how to CS, and this is the tip to get your CSing down pat. Now this is obviously a general thing to say, like just CS better, but there are a couple of things you can do. First of all, you can always jump into a practice tool, right? So don't buy any items, just jump into a practice tool on a champion you made and try to last hit for as long as possible. Once you get to around 7-8 CS per minute, so 70 or 80 CS at 10 minutes, that's probably good enough, to be honest. But also what helps in your ranked games is actually standing closer to the minions because your auto attacks have less distance to travel, and this even goes for melee champions. Sometimes when you run up to that minion to last hit it, you are going to get creep blocked and you're going to miss the gold for it. And if you're a ranged champion, this applies even more because once you're standing on top of that minion, that auto attack doesn't have to travel a second to last hit the minion. It's more in real time and you can react a lot quicker to minions who are losing health really quickly. So practice your CSing and make sure that you have this backbone when you go into your ranked games, because even if you do feed in a game, if your CSing is still good, you are going to be relevant in your games. Now let's move on to Gold, guys, and right here I want all of you, unless you're playing Rumble with his ultimate or Victor with his E, to turn on Smartcast. The number of players, even people who play champions like Cassiopeia, who Smartcast is like kind of just built for, still have normal cast or they have the indicators on. Now the reason I don't like this is because what we care about, guys, on League is efficiency, okay? We don't want to waste any time. So when you have normal cast on, even with indicators, you are going to waste time just by trying to get it in the perfect position rather than just reacting on the fly to what's happening in front of you, which is much better. You're playing instinctively, and in those micro situations, in those 1v1s, you don't want to have to calculate anything. You want to just play as if it's natural to you. Now, one thing that is going to help here is adjusting your sensitivity to your own liking. So many people think they have to play like Faker and Uzi or want to play like them, so they change their mouse sensitivity to like 100 and their DPI on 3000. Everyone is different. If everyone had those genetics, we would all play on that sensitivity. But here's the thing. Pretty much every challenger player is going to have a different DPI and a different mouse speed in their game. So you have to make sure, guys, that you're playing with a sensitivity that is comfortable for you. This is going to help you out so much, especially in those micro situations. Now let's move on to the Platinum rank, guys, and talk about the tip that you have to apply in your games to get out of Plat. Now this, honestly, I could say for pretty much every single ELO in this video, but for Platinum especially, for some reason, so many players like helping their teammates when they are running it down. So what happens is someone gets caught and you're like, oh, I've got some sort of obligation to help that teammate, and you go in and guess what happens? You die as well. So let me just say this, guys, you have to make in League of Legends the best decision for yourself. Now sometimes it will actually be helping your teammates, but let me put it this way, most of the time, if not all the time, even if you don't help them, you're still going to put yourself in a position to get golden experience and scale. If you put yourself in a position where you can die and run it down like your teammate who's just gone into a really bad situation, you are never going to climb. So what you have to do in your games, if you have a teammate who is running it down, just let them run it down. It's fine. Look to get something else on the map. If they die, try to trade it it with something else on Summoner's Rift. Don't just think because they are a teammate of yours or because you listen to someone tell you, to help them out. Make the best decision for yourself, and even if you should have helped them, choosing to stay alive is never going to be a bad strategy. It's always going to work, so make sure you do this in your games. Don't feel pressured to help your teammates when they run it. Now, this next tip, guys, for the diamond rank, this is honestly kind of a simple, complicated one at the same time, but I think it is absolutely essential if you're to climb to high reload, because the difference from diamond to challenger is the biggest gap in terms of tiers, right? Even like bronze to silver, silver to gold, these are all pretty small climbs, but from diamond to challenger, this is the big difference here. And the tip I want to give to all you diamond players out there, and everyone else, you can apply this, is to never AFK, and in particular, mentally. I mean, of course, I don't mean physically, you should always be there ready to go, but in terms of mental, the big difference is just thinking and actually turning your brain on and being engaged. Because lots of people, guys, what they do in League of Legends is they just look at their screen and react to what's on their map. They pretty much just autopilot and hope that the enemy team runs it down. But if you just think a little more than the opposition, even in terms of like just your matchup, so if you're in Champ Select, you see the enemy team locked in, think about the first few levels and how that lane is going to play out, or the jungle matchup. Think about lanes you want to play around. Think about lanes that are important. Think about your backtimers, like what gold values are important for your champion. Because what so many people do is they play each game the same. So they just walk to their lane or to their first jungle camp. They sit there, AFK, mentally, and maybe physically, and this is not how you get to challenger. You have to think, you have to be mentally aware of what's going on. So when you queue up for rank, guys, make sure you are queuing up to win. No one wants to queue up and, well, no one wants to play with someone who is just playing for the sake of playing. So go into ranked with a purpose, with an intention to win that game, and be aware of what is going on and try to think a little bit more. This will help you turn off that autopilot mode and play at a much higher level, just because you are way more engaged and you have a purpose to what you're doing. Now, as we get into the final tip, guys, for the challenger rank, if you enjoy this type of video, make sure to leave a like down below, and also remember to check out the GameLeap website before you leave this vid. It is so important if you want to climb, if you want to peak this season and become the best player you can be. We have everything you need. We have all the videos, the courses, the guides. They are made by challenger players and coaches around the world. They are guaranteed to help you, so sign up, links down below. Now, yes, the challenger tip, this is it, the final one. Listen to this. Time, okay, is everything. Now, what do I mean by this? Because it sounds kind of ambiguous, right? Like, what does that even mean? Well, time on the game, guys, ELO for me is a measure of efficiency, and efficiency just means how well you're using your time and what you're using your time on the map for. So, for example, someone who is really high challenger is going to waste very little time in a game. So the most obvious example is when you get a kill, lots of people will overstay in that situation when they should really just cash in that gold they get from the kill, because that is the surplus in that lane or in the jungle. And when they do fight again, they can never lose because they have that item advantage. So that's one thing. Another example might just be walking from your base to your lane, but you just get to lane and you don't think about anything else. So the 20 seconds it takes to get to your lane, you could be looking at the scoreboard, other lanes, your lane, figuring out what the minion waves are doing, and then you can formulate a plan for the next 2 to 3 minutes. In other words, you're not wasting your time, and there is a purpose and an intention, which I said for the diamond rank, to everything you do. And how we really judge this, guys, if you're making the right plays on the map, is in terms of golden experience, because that is really what allows us to scale and what we're really making our decisions for, okay? It's not like we try and get a kill for anything else. We're trying to get it for golden experience, right? So if that play you're making, if you're just waddling around the map hoping for a play to happen, when really there's a very low chance it does happen, you are just wasting valuable time, and it's much better just to recall or to think of something else. So make sure, guys, regardless of the rank you are in, you take these tips into your games. I've seen it so much, all of the mistakes people make in these ELOs. It's so common, so try to apply these tips. They're going to help you out so much. I know that for a fact. And as always, thanks so much for watching the video. Remember to hit that sub button on your way out. Until tomorrow's video, this has been the Jizz. Bye.